We'll go next to Mike Crook, Envision Sports Media.
Hi, Coach.
Hey, Mike.
Despite their slow start of late, Duke has still got a really great aerial attack and some great receivers. Is there any adjustments that your defense is doing to prepare to cover Sean Renfrey and his talented group of receivers this weekend?
Well, I think you always prepare for the team and what their strengths are, and certainly, like I said, I think they're very capable, very dangerous throwing the football. I think as you prepare during the week, you do what you need to, you think to counter their, what their strength is.
Awesome. And also, obviously the country knows about the slow start, but the incredible turnaround your team's had over the last 4 games. Have you taken on more of an outlook of a one game at a time versus worrying about ACC standings or anything like that right now?
I think we've done a good job of staying in the present. I think if you're thinking about what's happened or what's going to happen, you're probably wasting your time. You better think about what's getting ready to happen. And there are 5 remaining games right now. All are against people in our division. So this is a critical football game here this Saturday, and so that's what we're thinking about, Duke, and this Saturday.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We will get on the football field tomorrow for the first time since last Saturday. Gave the fellas a few days off, tired, and try to get back both mentally and physically ready to prepare for our game with Florida State a week from tomorrow.
We'll go to Mike Crook, Envision Sports Media.
Do you believe that the ACC would do better with getting some new blood like they have been recently in the ACC championship game, or do they need to get teams like Florida State and Miami back in there to have some national relevance with conferences like the SEC and Big 12?
No, I think we have to get the best 2 teams in our conference in the championship game. It doesn't matter what name's on the jersey. They have to be the best 2 teams that have earned the right to get there.
Okay. And as far as Russell Wilson's game last weekend, was that just a fluke? Because he's typically not that bad with the interceptions. Is he going to be focusing on that with FSU's talented secondary coming up next week?
Well, certainly, I think he focuses each and every week on how to prepare and make sure that we don't turn the football over. One of the throws was at the end of the half, at the end of the game, trying to make something happen. So, not the overtime period. I'm talking regulation. So, with that being the case, sometimes those are going to happen.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you, Mike. This week's opponent is North Carolina, which is another Coastal Conference opponent. It's a big game for us, and I think it's a big game also for North Carolina. As everybody's this is, Miami's 0-3 the last 3 years that we've played against North Carolina, and it's going to be a pivotal game for us and the program and what we're trying to get done this season. North Carolina's doing a wonderful job, especially on offense with Yates, doing a wonderful job of orchestrating the offense, getting his completions, his ratio down, and interceptions are down. And they're running the football pretty well, and they're playing also great on defense, causing turnovers. And I think they've done a fantastic job of playing within the scheme where they're trying to do both offensively and defensively and giving themselves a great chance to make big plays on offense, but also not giving up big plays on defense and causing a lot of turnovers. So it's going to be a big test for us, which is always when you're playing side conference, every game is a big test because you're always trying to reach the end of the season, something that is very special.
We'll go next to Mike Crook, Envision Sports Media.
How's it going, Coach? Miami seemed to take a lot of heat after the Florida State game about its lack of leadership and sense of urgency, but played really well against Duke last weekend. Is there any particular player or maybe group of players that seems to have stepped up and taken on that leadership role to help get that fire lit underneath the guys?
Mike, it's anytime that that's like 2-3 weeks ago, Florida State. But anytime you play Florida State, I hate to bring up the past, but those games always go and come. We've had some tight games, and I've been a part of those situations. And as a freshman at Miami when I was a player, we got beat in the Orange Bowl 38-3. Anytime you play those type of games, you go back and you say to yourself, what can we do to get better? And I think the guys responded by coming back at Duke and playing well against Duke, defensively causing turnovers. And I think offensively we went down, first play of the game, we had a fumble, and offensively came back and scored 14 points. So, we put ourselves in a bad situation, and our guys responded, didn't go in the tank, and I think that just shows improvement of what we're trying to do and where we're going at with this football program.
Okay. And with UNC starting off a really key stretch of Coastal Division games there, the team's morale and their upbeat spirit seems to be looking pretty good going into this weekend's game?
Yeah, very upbeat. Yeah, we've had 2 great practices. The guys are very physical this morning. We've had some physical toughness, some hitting going on, and the guys really respond with a lot of enthusiasm. So anytime that you can have a practice and the guys are flying around and having a great time with each other, but also being physical with each other, you can enjoy watching those things develop as a football team.
Well, thank you, Coach.
Alrighty. Yes, we came off a great game with Boston College. Very tough, hard-fought ball game, very physical ball game. Boston College gave us all we wanted, and we were very fortunate to come out with the win. But very pleased with our kids learning to overcome some of the adversity they had to come through, and I think we learned a little bit about ourselves. We're still a work in progress. We still have to continue to get better every week in a lot of aspects, but very pleased with a lot of aspects of our game as far as playing situation with red zone offense, defense, third down stuff. But, we have to clean up some of those turnovers, and our defense did a great job in transition, sudden change situations. And our kicking game, I thought, was a big key in that game. Our kickers and our punters really helped us in field position. And looking forward to this off week for half an off week to play next Thursday with NC State in a great ball game.
Go to Mike Crook, Envision Sports Media.
First of all, congrats, Coach, and a great start to your first year there.
Thank you.
I know that Christian punters come out at least once that I've seen this year about getting the attendance up at home games there. Do you think that maybe the fans are being a little fickle after a few downtrodden years, and that being back up in the rankings and getting a better defense is going to get those home attendance records back up? Or
I think they will, and I think we had a good crowd Saturday. We had over almost 77,000, I think it was, something like that Saturday. It was almost a full house, and it was a great atmosphere, great environment. Our fans did a great job, and I think anytime there's change, people have speculation of what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and we've had a couple early games which are tougher on folks, and but our fans they showed up great in great numbers on Saturday, and we're very pleased with the attendance.
Yeah, I was just going to add that if it was, possibly those earlier kickoff times that were hindering some of those attendance records there, do you guys have any sort of say on those kickoff times, maybe later in the season?
No, that's TV. TV sets all the markets today and the times. But, we're playing well at noon, too, so it's a double-edged sword. We've been playing pretty good at noon and winning, so I don't mind them as bad.
Hey, don't knock it if it's working for you there. So thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
We have a huge challenge playing a Virginia Tech team that's truly gotten in its form, and they've hit stride on both sides of the ball, and certainly, as always, in the kicking game. They've got threats everywhere offensively. Bud Foster and that defensive staff do a tremendous job and have the utmost respect for Frank Beamer coached football teams. I think they do it as well as anyone in the country.
We'll go next to Mike Crook, Envision Sports Media.
Hey there, Coach. Lane Stadium is such a difficult place to play, especially for night games. Now, what do you think your boys are going to do to prepare for this weekend's game? And do you feel that getting a noon kickoff is going to help diffuse some of that stadium's mystique?
Well, we went up there 2 years ago in late in November at night, and the wind chill was minus 19. That's about as hard as it could get, other than I think maybe people didn't feel like yelling. It was a great football game and a bitter cold night. We can't do anything other than, what you always do. You prepare with crowd noise. You focus on your discipline, and that's just part of playing on the road in those types of environments, and they certainly have a great environment there.
Is there any one key aspect that you have your boys gearing in on to stop, whether it be Tyrod Taylor or any one of the running backs or receiving?
Well, you're describing the hard part there. They do a great job of using all their weapons, and what you just have to do is go in and be disciplined and try like crazy to tackle well. They're very difficult to tackle, all of them. Tyrod, the backs, tight end, the wide receivers, all very difficult to tackle. So if the one thing you would focus on is just try to tackle as well as you can to give yourself a chance.
Oh, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Mike. Well, after a couple of weeks on the road, we're anxious to get home and see how we can play in front of our home fans. Any questions?
Go to Mike Crook, Envision Sports Media.
Hey, Coach Baz.
How you doing, Mike?
Is there anything you would have done differently with your game plan last weekend against Florida State once you guys took the lead that would have helped seal a victory?
Made a couple first downs and stopped them.
Yeah.
I don't know
you guys
that was last week, and we're done with that. But not really.
Because defensively, you guys are probably one of the top defenses, I would say, in the conference. Is there anything that you're looking to do at stopping Maryland? I mean, I know that offensively they haven't been putting up the numbers, but last week their quarterback really lit up Clemson's defense.
Well, first of all, I appreciate the comment about the defense, but we're giving up way too many points. And second, Maryland is always given us fits offensively. Ralph is a great football coach, and he's been on the offensive side of the ball quite a while, and he's very adept at dissecting people. It's no surprise that they did a good job on offense. We expect to have our hands full.
Yeah, thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.